You know, it's always been about finding Steph and bringing her home. But now it's really about justice for Stephanie, and we're going to do whatever we can to help the investigators as much as we possibly can.
The discovery of Stephanie Condon's remains ends the 10-year search for the Riddle teen.
Today, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office confirmed that the remains found in Glide nearly 2 weeks ago belonged to Condon. Good evening, I'm Rick Douglas.
And I'm Brandi Smith. The announcement is heartbreaking and relieving for the Douglas County community, which waited 10 years to find out what happened to Stephanie. KEZI 9 News reporter Lindsay Doy begins our live team coverage of tonight's top story.
The rumors that had been circulating throughout the county for the past week were finally put to rest today when Sheriff John Hanlon announced they had positively identified the remains as Stephanie Condon.
This is certainly not what any of us was hoping for, but after 10 years, it's an outcome that we've been trying to prepare for.
Stephanie's father gave a brief statement at Wednesday's press conference, noticeably shaken at reliving every parent's worst nightmare.
My family is doing pretty well. My family's doing well under the circumstances. It's just going to take us some time.
Longtime Glide resident Joe Mellon was exercising his dogs near his home when he stumbled across a human skull. That sparked a week-long recovery effort, ending with the remains being identified as Stephanie.
The abduction and murder of a child in this community is shocking for us all. There has never been a more important investigation in many of our careers, and never has there been a more important break in an investigation.
Dental records from the skull were used to make the match last week, and though it's a relief for many to finally find Stephanie, it's not the resolution so many had hoped for.
There's the emotional letdown knowing that Stephanie truly is no longer with us, and even though that brings some kind of resolution to the family, it's still, there's an emotional reaction, very sadness that Stephanie is dead and cannot rejoin her family.
But this break in the case, the discovery of her remains, gives investigators the key to unlocking the 10-year mystery of Stephanie's disappearance.
We'd like to thank the community for the support. You know, you guys been there for us, gave us the strength, and it's been wonderful.
Currently, the FBI is examining the remains for any DNA evidence to help find the person responsible for this crime. Investigators say the cause and manner of Stephanie's death has not yet been determined. From Roseburg, Lindsay Doy, KEZI 9 News.
Dale Hill has long been the prime suspect in the Stephanie Condon case. Tonight he's in the Lyon County, Nevada jail, but on unrelated charges. 39-year-old Hill was arrested by a team of officers in Nevada, but the sheriff's office says the arrest was merely a coincidence. Nevada's Lyon County Sheriff's Department says it was alerted about Hill's presence by Oregon authorities, and a check of his status revealed he had failed to register as a felon, leading to his arrest.
They wanted to make contact with the individual. Based on the circumstances, we did a background investigation, discovered he had a felony conviction, and he was not registered in the state of Nevada, so he was taken into custody.
Douglas County says it did not ask officers in Nevada to arrest Hill. He's being held on more than $1,100 bond.
Today's news is the talk of Douglas County tonight. Many people say they wondered if and when Stephanie would return. Now they say there can finally be some closure. Most people in southern Douglas County around the Myrtle Creek area know the Condon family.
Yeah, I remember back when it had happened, you know, we'd followed it closely. Stephanie was the same age as my son and really felt for the family.
I'm just happy for the family that perhaps it will be a closure for them.
People keep saying in here, it's good because it brings closure, and I guess that's good, but in my heart, I just keep thinking about the pain that the families are going through. That's horrible.
There's already talk of a memorial service for Condon, but the community says it will be a challenge to find a place big enough to hold everyone this case has touched in the past 10 years.
A lot has happened over the last decade when the Stephanie Condon case first began. KEZI 9 News reporter Gia Vang rounds out our team coverage, taking us back to the night Stephanie went missing and bringing us to the events that unfolded today. She's live in our newsroom with more. Gia?
That's right, Rick. It's a cold case reopened, but how did it get here? Let's rewind back to October 30th, 1998, the night this unfinished story began. Now, Stephanie Condon disappears while she's babysitting near Myrtle Creek. Dale Wayne Hill, the prime suspect in the case, tells police he stopped by the house where Condon was, but denies involvement in her disappearance. There's little evidence to connect Hill to Condon. Months go by, and Condon is still missing. On February 1999, Hill is sent to prison for 6 years on unrelated burglary charges. On the 10-year anniversary of Stephanie's disappearance, a vigil, and her family is still wondering what happened to her.
At this point, all I want right now is answers. Where's Stephanie? That's all I care about.
Then 2 weeks ago, March 13th, a glide man walking his dog stumbles across a human skull. Rumors circulate, could it be the remains of Stephanie? That wasn't proven until today, March 25th. Now, Stephanie's parents are continuing to keep their website findstephanienow.com up if anyone has more tips. And you can find that link on our website, KEZI.com. Live in the newsroom, Gia Vang, KEZI 9 News.
This is KEZI 9 News at 11 with Rick Douglas and Brandi Smith. Now, your first forecast on KEZI 9 News.
Well, we're still looking at a few showers popping up on the Oregon radar sweep, and that does include places up around, you see, Portland, and then southward down towards the central sections of the Willamette Valley. Also, right up around, let's say, Junction City, and then southward through central parts of Douglas County, and then also starting to work their way south of Boise, Idaho as well. So that's the actual front itself. It's going to be moving southward. We're going to see the temperatures continue to fall some tonight. Still pretty much overcast conditions across the region as well. We will see some breaks in that sunshine for tomorrow. We'll talk more about that and a peek at your weekend forecast coming up in just a bit.
And now, 10 minutes of nonstop news continues.
Tomorrow is the deadline for all parties in the ongoing Country Coach bankruptcy case to iron out their differences. On Monday, Judge Albert Radcliffe opted not to approve Country Coach's reorganization plan because the company and its creditors, chiefly Wells Fargo Bank, were still too far apart on an agreement. Instead, as part of an interim agreement, Wells Fargo offered Country Coach a revolving loan of $3.2 million to allow the company to operate for up to 30 days. Country Coach's attorney, David Levant, told Judge Radcliffe the company needs to ramp up quickly if it's to remain viable. Country Coach plans to start production of 1 to 2 motorhomes a week and sell them directly to consumers rather than through dealers. Meanwhile, in a filing with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Delaware, Monaco Coach says it has a buyer willing to pay $50 million for its manufacturing operations. But, according to the Wall Street Journal, the company's secured lenders, including Bank of America, are blocking the deal. Monaco isn't revealing the name of the interested buyer, but will have more to say about the offer, either tomorrow or Friday.
The city of Eugene says it's trying to save money by adding a city attorney's office. City manager John Reese says it would be staffed by up to 3 attorneys who would then be city employees. Right now, Eugene has a contract with a local legal firm, and having those lawyers in-house could cut costs. The changes would go into effect on July 1st. And tonight there's agreement between the University of Oregon's student newspaper staff and its board of directors. Newsroom employees for the Oregon Daily Emerald went on strike on March 4th to protest the board's hiring of a publisher without first doing a nationwide search. After mediation, the board agreed to conduct that search and respect the editor-in-chief's authority to make editorial and news staffing decisions.
In the midst of the nation's foreclosure crisis, Oregon's junior Senator Jeff Merkley today gave his first speech on the Senate floor. He talked of home ownership as the core of the American dream and castigated the mortgage industry for foisting unjustifiable lending practices on an unsuspecting public. Merkley outlined the reasons why home ownership in America has always been the cornerstone of the economy and since the Great Depression, the chief way for families to plan for the future.
By and large, everything you buy in life loses value quickly. Your car, your clothes, your furniture. But not so with your home. The family home is, for most families, the biggest nest egg they will build in their lifetime.
Merkley pressed his Senate colleagues to follow in the footsteps of President Franklin Roosevelt, who called on Congress back in 1932 to offer at least as much assistance to the little guy as to the large banks and corporations. Congress, meanwhile, has voted to set aside more than 2 million acres in 9 states as protected wilderness. 10% of the land protected is in Oregon, from Mount Hood and the Columbia Gorge to the desert of Central Oregon and the Copper Salmon area of southwestern Oregon. As expected, those opposed to the plan, mostly Republicans, called it a land grab. The bill is actually a collection of almost 170 separate measures and represents one of the largest expansions of wilderness protection in 25 years.
Now, your first full forecast on KEZI 9 News.
Well, we're still looking at generally overcast conditions across most of western Oregon, but we are starting to see a little bit of breakup of that cloud cover. A couple of players coming up in our weather forecast over the next 36 to 48 hours, and that includes an upper level ridge that's sitting just to our south. You see where it's just blue ocean out there, not much of the way of any kind of cloud cover. That's where the center of that high pressure is, and systems are having to go up and over top of that, kind of like if you put a bowl upside down on a table, things are going to have to go up and over top. That's kind of what the ridge does, and so that will deflect some systems into the northwest, but it's going to lose a lot of their punch, and we're not going to see much in the way of any kind of rainfall with those, mainly just cloud cover over the next 36 hours. Still got a few showers out there in the live Doppler radar. You see just to the west of Eugene, Springfield, up around Junction City, and then a few spotty showers as you head up into the Cascades. Otherwise, the only major trouble spot for this evening is going to be over towards Bend and Deschutes County. All of us there are going to be dealing with a winter weather advisory till 4 a.m. They expect an additional 3 to 5 inches of snow. 48 is the current temperatures right now. We got up to 56 degrees today. The low with the clouds hung in the lower 40s. Not much in the rain bucket as well. No problems with visibility. And we'll see some patchy fog tomorrow. Friday morning for sure. I think we'll see a general clearing of the skies early Friday morning, and that is going to mean for some good low-level fog, and then that'll start burning off. Temperatures today not bad. Southerly winds before the front started to move through, a little cooler where they had some decent shower activity throughout most of the day in Portland and Astoria. They are now running a few degrees cooler than everyone else. It's 48 degrees in Eugene, 50 in Roseburg. You see, check out Baker City, 26. Very, very chilly out there this evening. As far as the rainfall totals, Newport and North Bend, the only real good spots that got rain. Everyone else just a little bit of a smattering in the bucket, and that was about all that we're likely going to see for tonight. Still watching that front continue to dive southward through the state. Northerly winds on the back end of that will help to dry things out. And there's the ridge. You see just an absence of clouds, high clouds anyway, and those systems are going to have to go up and over top of it over the next couple of days. So that will dry us out for the most part. In fact, the precision cast going through tomorrow afternoon, relatively dry, tries to squeak out a few showers. On Friday as well, I think, let's say, further north you head up the coast, you'll see some shower activity. Very spotty at best. Otherwise, for tomorrow, cloudy in the morning. We'll see the sunshine break out and some peaks by tomorrow afternoon. And other than that, it should look pretty decent. 53 degrees tomorrow on Coos Bay North Bend with an 8-foot swell. 54 on Friday. Otherwise, expect a few showers Saturday, a bit of a dry day, and then back to the rain as we get into next week. Roseburg, mostly cloudy, 55 degrees. A good-looking Friday, 62. Warm on Saturday, few showers, and then we get back to the rain as we get into the rest of the week. Corvallis, Albany, 57 degrees tomorrow, 56 in Eugene, Springfield. Few peaks of sunshine in the afternoon, and then the temperatures and the rain will start to return to more normal conditions by the time we get into Saturday and Sunday. So get out and enjoy tomorrow, and especially on Friday.
In tonight's A Closer Look, a grisly murder remains unsolved by Eugene police.
But how did a man considered a loner by many end up murdered in his own house? We'll take a closer look at the case in tonight's Crime Stoppers Cold Case Countdown.
Thursday at 7 on KEZI 9 News. Behind every cold case lurks a dangerous fugitive. Join KEZI 9 News anchor Bryce Onslinger as he profiles our top 5 cold case files. Go inside Western Oregon's most notorious unsolved cases and help local cops bring these elusive criminals to justice. Watch the KEZI 9 News special report, Crime Stoppers Cold Case Files, Thursday at 7 on KEZI 9 News.
Tomorrow night, Nightline opens the floor to a passionate debate, challenging deeply personal beliefs from all sides. The debate on Nightline, tomorrow night.
Flip you for the weekend.
Okay.
Heads, we go to the Mill Casino. Tails, we paint the kitchen.
Come on, heads. Come on, high heels. Come on, prime rib.
Tails, kitchen.
2 out of 3. Let's go right now.
Heads.
Bubble bath, sunset, roulette.
Tails.
Paint, kitchen, yuck.
Heads.
Tiebreaker. Come on, heads. Come on, nightclub. Come on, fun.
It's heads.
We win! We win!
I love this game.
I love you!
Stop by any Rife's location and bring in a non-perishable food item and drop it off in one of these drop bins. When you donate, you will receive a 10% discount off your purchase at any Rife's location. Stop by today and help feed the hungry.
We are counting down the top 5 cold cases in Lane County.
Tonight, we look back at a murder that rocked a quiet Eugene neighborhood. KEZI 9 News reporter Bryce Onslinger takes a closer look at Crime Stoppers cold case number 2.
In 2006, a quiet neighborhood in Eugene was rocked by the news that a man was brutally murdered in the middle of the night. The murder happened on Valentine's Day, leading to many theories, but no prime suspects. When you think of Valentine's Day, you think of good things like flowers, chocolate, and love. But sometimes that love can turn to hate and possibly lead to violence. So when Donald Williams was murdered on Valentine's Day, the obvious question was, could it be someone he was romantically involved with?
The person that killed Mr. Williams might have either been somebody that he had been involved in an intimate relationship with, or possibly somebody who thought that he was involved in an intimate relationship with somebody that they cared a lot for.
Williams was described as a private man. His relationships weren't talked about for the most part with his family. Several years before his death, Williams had a long-term relationship with a man. His partner had died years before his murder, and since then, his romances, if there were any, remained secret.
Even friends and family sometimes didn't know a lot of the personal details of his life. He tended to be a loner.
This is where Williams was murdered, 1822 Fountain Court in West Eugene. Police have never discussed what the scene was like inside the house, other than to say it was a violent death, and it took them 2 to 3 weeks to process the crime scene.
Early in the investigation, we received tips coming in from different sources. Some of them were anonymous, and we certainly do take anonymous tips and follow up on them. I'd like to hear more from folks that called early on in the investigation.
Williams drove a distinctive white PT Cruiser. He was last seen in North Eugene in the area near Coburg and Willackenzie. Detective Veach says he has plenty of physical evidence in this case, giving him hope that one day it will be solved.
I still think that we're very close. There's physical evidence from within the scene that I'm hopeful will identify our suspect at some point. Obviously, it hasn't occurred yet.
If you think you have any information on this case, you should call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-3DETECT. And as with all Crime Stopper cases, you could earn up to a $1,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. In studio, I'm Bryce Onslinger, KEZI 9 News.
And be sure to tune in to KEZI 9 News at 6 and 11 as we count down the top 5 Crime Stoppers cold cases in Western Oregon. And don't miss our Crime Stoppers Cold Case Files special tomorrow at 7 p.m.
New reports show household cleaners can make the air in your house pretty unhealthy.
But you have to clean the house somehow. We'll give you some tips in tonight's Reduce, Reuse, Recycle.
Kendall Hyundai and Budget Sales is your home for the largest selection of good quality, low-priced used cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Come check out over 50 used vehicles in stock, all priced under $10,988. And for every vehicle with under 100,000 miles, you'll receive our 1-year, 12,000-mile limited powertrain service contract. With over 15 banks, credit unions, and lending institutions, we've made finding and financing good quality, low-priced used vehicles easy. At Kendall Hyundai and Budget Sales, where the name means a great deal.
Most of you know Larry Garzanelli, owner of West Harvard Furniture. Now meet Tyler, Larry's grandson. Larry is busy teaching Tyler everything he knows about owning a furniture business. And the most important part of the job is inspecting every piece of furniture that comes through their doors. Recliners, couches and love seats, beds, dining sets, and even the mirrors. So when you buy something at West Harvard Furniture, you know that it has Larry's and Tyler's personal seal of approval. West Harvard Furniture, your friends in the furniture business.
It's free tofu time.
Come and get it!
What began 3 years ago as a tribute to organic farmers and Raleigh bicyclists continues today as a tradition at Paul's Bikes. Great everyday values on bikes, plus free tofu with every bike or tire that you buy. Fresh Serrata tofu, straight out of the cooler.
It's a big extra at no extra charge.
Free tofu now through the end of March. Don't miss the fun or the savings.
Free tofu now at the Paul's Bike sign.
How do you create an Oregon football legend? Start with 12 bowl games, 6 top 25 rankings in 10 years, 116 victories, and a coaching legacy that redefined Duck football forever. Don't miss the KEZI 9 News special sports presentation, Oregon Football, Replacing a Legend, Sunday at 6:30 on KEZI 9 News. Brought to you in part by Jerry's, Guarantee and Northwest Community Credit Union.
Forget AIG for the moment. How about something positive from the federal bailout? It turns out a Portland area bank is using some of its stimulus money to actually stimulate the economy. Banner Bank and its lending partner, Community Financial, are using $50 million in stimulus money to drive interest rates to under 4%. And that in turn is allowing homes to be built and sold to people who might otherwise not be able to afford one.
In the long run, it helps us sell some houses. And it'll stimulate the economy by, once we sell enough houses, we'll be able to go make some more construction loans to build some more houses.
And the plan seems to be working. Banner and Community have sold 50 homes in just the past 2.5 weeks. There are hundreds of homes in the program, but mainly in Multnomah, Washington, and Clackamas counties.
Recently, there has been unexpectedly good news about the housing market. Sales of new homes rose by 4.7% in February, which is better than economists had predicted. Realtors report closing more contracts each month than the month before. Housing prices are coming down and buyers are out looking for deals.
Sellers are being more realistic that's bringing buyers to the market, people that are saying this is a real good bargain for me and my family, and I'm going to sign on the dotted line.
Economists say it is too early to declare a definitive turnaround. Rising unemployment will almost certainly lead to more defaults and foreclosures, and with prices still falling, many buyers are waiting for what they hope will be even better deals. A weak housing market has an effect on other industries too. The Western Wood Products Association is expecting U.S. lumber demand to drop to a record low this year. The association predicted demand for 2009 would be 30% below last year's, which would put it at the lowest level since they began keeping records in 1955. They say home construction usually accounts for 45% of lumber used, and they expect demand to increase in 2010.
In tonight's Reduce, Reuse, Recycle, a new DEQ report says household cleaners can make the air 2 to 5 times more toxic than the air outside. So with spring cleaning here, what can you do to help the environment? KEZI 9 News photojournalist Jason Tomlinson scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed to find the answer.
We all want to clean house, but the chores to achieve it always seem very burdensome. Americans purchased and then threw away right after using them over 83,000 tons of disposable cleaning products.
So all you have to do is fill your bottle with water, touch of basic soap, a little bit of borax,
A touch of vinegar, and you've got your basic all-purpose countertop cleaner. You could just use what you have around the house and save a lot of money and save the earth at the same time. If you must use Windex, although there's some really great alternatives to that, just buy the liquid instead of the Windex wipes. And all you have to do is use your dish towel and really just toss those rags in with the existing laundry, and you're not really going to be increasing your workload. I believe that it is far cheaper to buy the liquid because you get many, whereas you get 24 wipes or 28 wipes in a container, you get many more than 28 uses out of a liquid container.
Another night, another overtime affair for the Oregon State men's basketball team.
The Beavers try to extend their season in the College Basketball Invitational semifinals.
Welcome to another episode of This Old Light Bulb. Save energy and money with compact fluorescent light bulbs. Go to pacificpower.net to discover more energy-saving answers and incentives.
Let's turn the answers on.
It's a different world out there. So what's most important right now? Is it need versus want? Should we be thinking more long-term? Well, here's something you should take into account. There's one car that's been rated the most durable, long-lasting in its class. The Accord. Honda. Simple.
Lease a 2009 Honda Accord for $199 a month for well-qualified customers.
See, son, now this here is value. Getting what you want and not paying too much for it.
So, when I used to mow the lawn and you only pay me $2.
That's value.
While I wash the car.
Value.
Clean out the garage.
Value.
Value for you, maybe.
And a valuable lesson for you.
There's no bigger value than the 100% beef Big Mac. And now you can get 2 for just $4. Big value, big deal.
I'm gonna take Mom out next time.
Yeah!
Here, take mine!
What about you?
Don't worry, I'll figure something out. Plus, I got my helmet.
That's completely unreasonable!
No, it's not unreasonable, just uncommon. I work for First Tech.
At First Tech Credit Union, we do everything we can to look out for our members.
See you on the ground!
It's March Madness at Robert Sachs Mattress in Springfield. Save 50 to 60% on all mattress sets, like full sets from $168, queen sets from $198, and king sets from only $298. Wow! Plus get a free memory foam pillow with any mattress set purchase. So for Oregon's lowest mattress prices, come to Robert Sachs Mattress in Springfield. I'm at the corner of Mohawk and Q Street in the Albertson Shopping Center. Come see me.
Cutting kilowatts. Much easier than cutting calories. Give your home a checkup with our tips and incentives and lower your energy intake. Go to pacificpower.net to learn more.
Let's turn the answers on.
Now, KEZI 9 News Sports with Sam Adams.
Well, 3 games, apparently not enough for Oregon State and Stanford to settle their differences. After the Beavers won rounds 1 and 2 during the Pac-10 season, the Cardinal got payback in round 3 at the conference tournament. Tonight, one final round in the CPI semifinals at Gill Coliseum. This one, well, it was just plain exciting. Beavers firing away from three-point land. Lathan Wallace puts OSU by 3, 13-10. Wallace with 16 on the night. Final seconds of the half now. Roland Shaftenar on the block ahead to Calvin Haynes. The hero from Monday comes through again just before the buzzer. The Beavers are up 28-26 going into the locker room. Second half now. Off the Ricky Klatt miss. Omari Johnson there with a monster dunk. Beavers on top 36-35. This one going down to the wire. OSU by 2 in the final seconds. Anthony Goods no good, but at the horn, Lawrence Hill there with the putback. That just beats the clock. We are going to overtime, tied at 54. But Oregon State would fight through it. Shaftenar with a big 3 after falling behind by 5. The Beavers are headed off to the CBI Finals. They win in overtime, 65-62.
This was probably the gutsiest game and gutsiest group of guys I've been a part of, you know, even counting when I played. And certainly since I coached, I mean, this was one of those, I mean, I thought the other night was a prize fight. This was a prize fight with like welterweights where they're just smacking the mess out of each other.
We know what we're capable of. We know we can play well. We feel like we've been getting better all season, and we're just playing well at the right time. So we're not really stunned, but we're just excited. Everyone's just happy that we're in the championship.
And Oregon State hosts UTEP in the best-of-3 finals starting on Monday. The Chip Kelly era begins on Monday, and it will start with LeGarrette Blount back on the football field. The Ducks announcing today that Blount has been reinstated for the start of spring practice. Blount was suspended from the program on February 10th for what Mike Bellotti called a failure to fulfill team obligations. Blount enters his senior year coming off a 1,000-yard campaign, setting a school record with 17 rushing touchdowns. And join us Sunday at 6:30 as we get ready for a new era in Oregon football. We're going to count down the top 10 games in the Bellotti era and take a closer look at Kelly's coaching days before the U of O. Are the Ducks better or worse off with Kelly on the headset? You tell us. Go to our website at KEZI.com and make your vote tonight. One last chance for Oregon to tune up for Friday's Pac-10 baseball opener against Oregon State. You'll have to forgive the Ducks for being just a bit out of practice. They haven't played a conference game in 28 years. Ducks playing host to Sacramento State at PK Park. Oregon trailing 1-0 in the 5th. Mitch Carricker leads off with a lace down the line and right. Carricker in his second with a stand-up double. Oregon batters later now. It's Andrew Schmidt, and he bloops one into shallow left center. That brings Carricker in from second, and the Ducks are on the board. Game tied at 1 apiece. Still in the 5th now. 2 men on. 3 men jogging. Freshman Anthony Kreitz with the big 3-run home run to left. And Curtis Rolanitis would add some insurance on a 2-run single that caps a 5-run 5th. Ducks win 6-4 without head coach George Horton in Game 2 of a 3-game suspension.
You know, it's a little loose, and I think we could do a little better job of ourselves by catching ourselves when we're bad. We don't need him to, as we like to call it, we like pulling on the chain, and we can do that ourselves. But you know, I think we've done well with the coaches, and Mike Kirby, our coach Kirby, he's doing good with the signs, and pitching's always good, and I think we're handling it pretty good.
Meanwhile, at the OSU softball complex today, the Beavers slugging 7 home runs in the doubleheader sweep of Seattle. The Beavers and Ducks will both head off to Arizona later this week to resume Pac-10 play. And stay right there. We have more news after this.
Rife's Home Furniture is teaming up with our local food banks to help feed our friends in our local community. Stop by any Rife's location and bring in a non-perishable food item and drop it off in one of these drop bins. When you donate, you will receive a 10% discount off your purchase at any Rife's location. At Rife's Home Furniture, we want to end hunger in our community. Along with your help, we can. Stop by today and help feed the hungry in our neighborhoods.
Phoenix Sunshine is on sale. For a limited time, get to the most fun under the sun with a great Allegiant Air sale price on a non-stop flight to Phoenix with breathtaking scenery, endless sun, unmatched resorts, and miles of world-class golf courses. The Phoenix Mesa area offers an ideal getaway from the everyday. Phoenix fun can be all yours in no time and always at Allegiant's low fares. Double your sunshine fun with low-cost hotel and car rental packages. Fly with your official airline for sunshine. Allegiant Air. Book today at AllegiantAir.com.
Here are my goals, Ted. I want to trim down, cut the fat, go faster, way faster, go anywhere, do anything without feeling sluggish or slow. And I wouldn't mind if it was all gain, no pain.
No sweat. You're all hooked up.
Get in the loop with Quest and get more, save more. Act now and get 1.5 meg internet for just $14.99 a month. So come on.
What are you waiting for?
Call, click, or come in to get in the loop with Quest.
The power of more free U.S. Bank ATMs? Wherever you go, there we are. That's the power of U.S. Bank. What more could you ask for? More cash for college? Genius! Get more out of your home with a more competitive U.S. Bank home equity rate. Apply today at the bank that gives you the power of, well, you know, more. U.S. Bank. 5-star service guaranteed.
Most of you know Larry Garzanelli, owner of West Harvard Furniture. Now meet Tyler, Larry's grandson. Larry is busy teaching Tyler everything he knows about owning a furniture business. And the most important part of the job is inspecting every piece of furniture that comes through their doors. Recliners, couches and love seats, beds, dining sets, and even the mirrors. So when you buy something at West Harvard Furniture, you know that it has Larry's and Tyler's personal seal of approval. West Harvard Furniture, your friends in the furniture business.
Students in Fontana, California obviously have more time on their hands than they need. They're going after a world record. They're setting down pennies to stretch 100 miles.
Hundreds of students from dozens of schools gathered to take part. They've constructed trays to lay the pennies in, and those trays line up and fit together to hopefully cover 100 miles. It was all set up by thinktogether.org, which tutors students and helps them pursue higher education. Kind of seems like time wasted. Well, they should be.
Yeah. Time is money.
Getting education.
Apparently it is there.
Yeah, literally.
100 miles of money, apparently.
All right, quick look at our forecast.
Penny for your thoughts, Justin?
You got it. I'll give you 2 or 3 anyway. It's going to be very nice. If you're going to be going skiing, we've got fresh powder in places like Mount Hood and Bachelor.
Have a good night.
Night.